What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Win podcast with your host, Aunt Ma, co-host Justin Vaseur, special guest William Wynn, the lender. We're going to ask some really great questions right now about Helocs.
Home equity line of credits.
Before we get into what is a Heloc, I want to ask, because in the last episode we were talking about recessions, people needing money, people not having jobs. Is this a good time to get a Heloc before the rates go even higher? Because if there's people on the verge of losing jobs and maybe don't have money, but they have money in their homes, should they do a Heloc?
I always recommend, even before I got into mortgages as a private banker and investment advisor, I always recommend my clients to have a Heloc, even if they're not going to use it.
I agree with you. And I think I fucked up when I bought this house because I was going to do a Heloc and I got scared. I was like, I put a lot of money down on this home, like ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And then to ask for another 100K Heloc, I'm like, yo, that's too much. That's too much. So I got scared. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want the Heloc. And then now I'm like, I wish I had it because right now is a perfect time for me to use it.
Yeah. So it's the people don't understand Heloc. You should get it because you don't have to use it. It's $100,000. Yeah, it's $200,000, but you're not using it right away.
Can you tell me what a Heloc is?
So Heloc is a home equity line of credit. It's basically like the closest thing I can compare it to is a credit card, right? So technically, it's like a credit card where it's
a credit line.
It's a credit line of credit for your house based on your house's collateral, and it's based on how much equity you have, right? So let's say you can take out. Say your house prices go up. That's the best time to cash in before house prices drop, because then bam, you got $200,000 Helocs on standby.
So the only time you guys can take money out of your home is when your equity goes up.
Up, yes.
Hence, equity line of credit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if it goes back down, like there's no.
No, because we already gave you the Heloc.
Okay. They're asked out.
That's why that's why I'm saying like when it goes up, just get it right away.
Yeah.
Because even if your house, we don't reassess, right? Let's say the house prices drop, like we don't go in there and then cut your price. Some banks do, but it's very rare where they go in there and cut the Helocs out. Like I think when the recession was happening, banks were going there and cutting people's Heloc in half.
They needed their money back.
Yeah, like we're not. Well, they're scared that they might take the money and not pay it back. So they start cutting their limits, but it's really rare.
And then as far as like having it, you don't pay any interest until you start using it.
Yeah. So a Heloc, it's a 30-year loan, right? It's technically a 30-year loan for 10 years. First 10 years, you can draw as much as you want. Like you can take
as many times
you want. You can. It's like a pool of cash sitting there that you can take if you need to, but once you take it, you have to pay interest on the amount you take, right? So when you take it, the first 10 years, interest only. So that's why people take it, because the monthly payment is low.
Okay, so let's play the scenario out. Let's say I wanted a $100,000 Heloc, and I take it out from you right now. What is the rate on a Heloc?
Like 10%.
Okay, and I don't have to pay that 10% until I use it.
Yes. So whatever you take out, you pay 10%. But
so let's say right now I did this Heloc loan with you, and then there's this 100K. Where is the 100K sitting right now that I'm not using?
Just in the bank, or the line of credit. It's just there.
Oh, it's in that line of credit.
Yeah.
It's not like you gave me the 100K.
No, it's like a
in
credit
my
card.
bank account. Okay, it's in this credit card account.
Yeah.
Right. Home credit card account.
Yeah.
And
it's just like a line of credit that sits there.
Yeah.
It's an account that sits there with $100,000 available for you to pull out.
Okay. So let's say right now I wanted to use $10,000.
Yep.
Okay. So do I pay interest on the $10,000 or on the $100,000?
On the $10,000.
Okay. And then after that $10,000, I'm like, I want to use another $50,000. So now I get interest on the $60,000 that I took.
Yes.
And not the other $40,000.
No.
And what happens if I never use the $40,000? Where does it go?
It just stays there for 10 years. So you have 10 years to use it.
Uh-huh.
Once the 10 years up, it goes into a 20-year repayment cycle.
Oh, so I got to pay it back.
Yeah. So basically, you don't have to pay the $40,000. So basically, let's say you have $60,000, the $40,000 is there.
Uh-huh.
Once your draw period ends, that $40,000 is unused, goes back to the bank.
Oh, poof! They just take it back.
Yeah, take it back, and then the $60,000 you start paying for the last 20 years, you start paying principal and interest. You cannot pull any more money out.
That is I wish I knew more about this when I was buying this home. I didn't know much about HELOCs yet. And now I'm just kicking myself in the butt because I've been trying to buy a rental. And in other episodes, we're talking about how you can't cash flow right now as a new investor. But if you get 40, 50% down, you can. So with 100K, I could have bought, a condo that was 200K, 50% down and cash flowed. Like,
because the payments, the reason why payments are high on mortgages is because it's principal and interest. But HELOCs, you're just paying interest.
Can you tell me what a monthly payment is on HELOC that's 10% rate?
Ooh, good question. I cannot calculate it at the moment.
Like, I don't even know what it is. Is that like $500? Is that $1,000? Like 2,000?
I can tell you one that took out $250,000 and their payment was $400 a month.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, their payment was $400 a month for interest.
They took out how much?
$250.
It's $400 a month.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
you could definitely cash flow.
You can do anything. You can buy yourself a restaurant. You can do anything.
Just remember though, yeah. So basically, you have 10 years to pay. You're just paying interest. So basically, that $250,000 for 10 years, unless you pay additional principal, it's going to be at the 10 years done. It's still going to be $250,000 because you're just paying interest.
So this sounds like really good because it's so little payments, but obviously we're saying it feels good because we can afford that extra $400 a month.
Yeah, so you have to have a plan, right, to pay it off.
Now, if you don't have that extra $400 a month, then that's hard. So this is why people say, professionals will say, take a HELOC out on your house and go buy another home and then keep repeating so you can keep buying more homes. Utilize other people's money.
Back in the the 80s and stuff. They're doing that.
Now, the new professionals are saying don't do that because if you don't rent out those homes that you keep buying off these HELOCs, you have to pay for the rent or the mortgage on those homes that you're not renting out, and you still got to pay for your HELOCs. So that's why people don't recommend using HELOCs for businesses because if it fails, you still got to cover both sides, right? The business and the HELOC.
You know what people are doing back in the days though?
Yeah.
They're doing, because back in the days, you for HELOCs, you're going to usually do it for your primary resident. That is it. Back in the days, you can do it for primary, second homes, investments. So people are buying primary, took money from the primary, use that money to buy an investment, use the equity, you open another home equity line, use that home equity line, buy another investment. And
but why does the bank that's giving me the HELOC, do they know what I'm spending the money on?
Yeah, back in the days, they did. Oh, yeah, but no, like once we give you the HELOC,
I can do whatever I want.
Ask you, what do you need it for? It's like, it's just for emergencies.
Oh, okay. So I could take out 100K and give 50K to my drug dealer?
Yeah.
And you guys wouldn't
drug
care?
Dealer Justin, yeah.
Yeah. So if Justin was a drug dealer, I gave him 50K and then I got a big batch of some drugs and then I flipped it. Yeah. I make money.
We don't ask you when you pull it out. We'll ask you when you apply, like, it's for emergencies. So the most important thing, the reason now why I used to push it a lot is that, and especially in California, because of fires, right? So if your house burns down, insurance takes forever to give you money to recover, or where are you going to stay?
Wow, I never saw that angle before.
Where are you going to stay? You can use your credit card to stay at a hotel. You have $200,000 line of credit you can pull right away to use
and buy another home.
Fix your home, or fix your home. Pay for your hotel. You don't have to stress.
Yeah,
it's just that emergency money, and some people use it for college funds, for emergency, like quick, like big purchases, emergency.
That's
money.
great.
Yeah.
And you said for the first 10 years you're paying interest only.
Interest only
on what you take out.
On what you take out.
That's kind of crazy.
So some people it's worth it because they use it for. Some people use it for business.
I think the best thing. Okay, obviously for business and investment opportunities is great. But the risk is high because we're talking about opportunities. They might not meet the expectation of that goal, and that's where it's very, very risky. So the best person to use a HELOC is actually someone who's going to use it for their house.
Yes.
Someone who can afford the payments. So let's say someone has a house, they want to remodel the home, and it's going to cost them, $80K to remodel the home, and they can afford $200 to $400 a month no matter what. That's the perfect person to use it. It's like another car payment for them. They can afford another car payment. If I want to put a pool in my backyard, I can do that for $200 to $400 a month, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, for like remodels or for emergencies. I always recommend having there because you never know.
If you're that first-time business owner and you're trying to buy a restaurant and your restaurant never has customers, you got to pay for this HELOC and the rent over there, You know, your rent's gonna be like $3,000. Then you got this HELOC $400, $3,400. Then you haven't been paying your employees, all the equipment you bought, and oh my god.
That's why I think we should do an episode
crazy.
about business, because
yeah.
that's the best way to do it is do business, do LLC, and do a business loan, because that's the safest way to do it. Because business loans they'll lend you. I should do business banking too. They'll lend you business to buy a startup. You know.
Well, how does that work? Because when you buy most of the business loans, they give you the money once you have a business. But how do you say, hey, I want to start a business. Can I have money?
Yeah,
SBA.
There's some SBA. There's some programs that help, and there's some banks that if you say you're buying another business, we just got to see how that business is doing, and we'll use that income and like, okay, it's successful, and we'll lend you the money to buy the business.
Like I want to open a restaurant in Chinatown, Vegas right now. Like I have this really great idea that I'm not going to say on this podcast, but and it's not here in America yet.
I mean, us three can help you, but we got to buy in. That's
so like you know, how do I get someone to say yes?
Yeah, we'll look into it. I'll look into it.
And what does the interest look like on that?
Good question. I don't know that part, but I will find out for you.
For something that's never started before, that's hella risky for the lender.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's got to be like 20%.
But sometimes you get the right lender. Like the stories, like you see those stories all the time. Like when back in the day, Pinkberry, I think American Express took a chance on them.
Well,
you never know.
Yeah, maybe we tell them we have a podcast, they'll be a little more lenient.
Yeah, we just gotta paint a good story, and we're like.
So what's not a good scenario to use a HELOC?
Great question.
To buy cars.
Yeah,
like do people do
just
that?
go
They
shopping.
they just buy like a Lamborghini really quick. And
Yeah, some people go crazy. Go
yeah,
shopping.
so it's buying something that's gonna make you pay double.
You
right?
don't need it.
So it's like the car, you gotta pay the car payment and the HELOC payment.
Yeah.
Same thing for the house.
Well, a car you pay off cash.
Yeah, you
basically.
pay it off.
But like, yeah,
Well, if
you're
you
just
want-
wasting it, yeah.
You pay it off cash and then you pay the $400.
But you're losing appreciation. You're not making money. You just
with Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
yeah, you lose price, dude. Maybe not Ferraris, Lamborghinis.
Well, when there's your limited edition that are like $300K, those will go up in value.
yeah, the regular Lamborghinis.
So
Buy a Bugatti.
So what if I
$1 million
bought
car.
like 10 Rolexes?
Yeah, that's a good investment.
I mean, it's not that much. They only go up like $3K. You know.
No, some of them are like double.
Well, yeah, okay. If you get the
20K,
ones that are
You
like,
gotta buy a Patek or whatever.
you gotta buy like a
that's
50K
baller
watch
buyer.
minimum. If you get a 50K watch minimum, then they will go up in value.
I think like the Daytonas or whatever, they were used to be like 15. Now they're like 20,
Yeah.
30.
The ones that take like a year for you to get, those will be worth a lot.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I
But
always
even the
wonder.
regular ones, you still. So I think mine's still from 2012 and it's still holding the price. I can still
I
sell
mean,
it for
they'll
retail.
go up like those will go up like 3K.
Yeah.
I always wonder if that's what like some rich people are doing, like to look like they're balling out and stuff, but they're just hella in debt.
Yes. There's a
They're
lot.
like doing all these like HELOCs or whatever.
That's
Yeah,
why like, those people that walk
they
around with Gucci, LV, like some of them drive Mercedes, like some of them live in apartments. Like you can't, like the rich people, like really, like I'm talking about. Remember I talked about rich and wealthy.
Yeah.
The wealthy people, like
They
very
don't
low,
dress like
very
that.
low key.
Yeah.
Like, my wealthiest client when I was in my private banking, dude, he walked in with like sandals and like just regular like house pants and a t-shirt. That
Well,
guy
you
is
know
worth,
why?
That guy's worth $35 million.
It's because he just flew on his private jet from Hawaii to here, and he's still wearing his Hawaii clothes.
No, it was yeah, and then,
why.
but then his wife shops at like Ross.
That's
Like,
pretty
but
gangster.
they bought a $3.5 million house cash. Like
Yeah.
they're balling, but you can't tell. Like you can't tell. And
I
then,
like
and then
that.
I have people walking in like Gucci, like you know, and then you pull up their accounts, like oh my god, you're $400,000 in debt, bro. Like in like
Yeah.
credit card debt, you know.
I mean, yeah, you look at
Damn.
who dresses clean and doesn't show off.
Yeah.
That's like Bill Gates,
yeah,
right? Mark Zuckerberg.
You see all of them, they're just
Elon
simple.
Musk.
But like their shirts are like
Yeah,
like-
they're like $200 shirts
yeah, but
with
you
no
can-
labels
no
on
labels.
it. I'm
Like, you only the other wealthy people.
I don't even know where you
I
find
see.
that shit, dude.
Yeah, you have to be like super
Because
wealthy.
all I see are Hanes for like $5 to $10.
Yeah.
Dude, you know who's been coming up?
Who?
Abercrombie.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah,
I thought
this
they
is-
did
this is
already.
Abercrombie right here.
What's coming up about
Well,
it?
yeah, that's things
Like,
not dead already.
They're doing more like baggy stuff.
Oh, so they're like-
doing the cargo.
Oh, yeah.
They're,
okay.
they're getting
I'm like,
cultured.
Yeah, and I'm like, dang, they're actually putting out some nice clothes.
So
now.
it's more like skater instead of beach.
Yes.
Yeah, some
Beach
stuff.
vibes. Yeah.
Or
Because-
like they,
You don't have
it's
to be
kind of
like-
like Zara too.
So
in
they
a
don't have
way.
like 6-pack guys standing in
Zara.
front anymore. Like,
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, I don't think they do.
Because you know why? Most I don't see any more like white models guys
Oh
walking
yeah,
around everywhere and like
yeah, that's not
That
the
style's
thing
done.
anymore.
Yeah. They're all hipsters now.
yeah.
With
Now they all
man
look
buns.
like Kid Leroy, right?
Mm.
With like bangs and
Yeah.
with a skateboard and the pants that you're wearing.
Yeah, you're fashionable.
I'm trying to be. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're coming up. Where were we?
I don't know. I think this was a
That's
great
right.
episode. We learned a lot about Helocs, when to use it,
Oh,
why
yes,
you should
Helocs.
use it, when you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to get a HELOC, there are people who I would say, okay, we have some clients who they're on a loan or on a mortgage with their parents because they help their parents get the home, and they also don't have down payments because obviously inflation is crazy. So they're taking out HELOCs for down payments
Yeah.
to buy a new home.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing you guys can do too. So a lot of people are doing that, and whatever. Everyone's situation is different.
Yep. You have to-
If you need help, we'll help you. Reach out to us, and guys, let us know what you thought about this in the comment section. Okay, please let us know what you want to talk about and what you want to learn about. We would love this information. So, see you guys next time on the Next Win podcast.